I'm Josh Ellis, Senior Consultant at Union Baptist Association, and this is a video review of the 2008 book Crowdsourcing, Why the Power of the Crowd is Driving the Future of Business by Jeff Howe. Crowdsourcing is the term given to a wide array of activities that utilize the collective talents, skills, and passions of a group to create something new. In essence, crowdsourcing endeavors to harness the knowledge and talent that is present within a group, but beyond the capacity of a single individual to capture or utilize. Since the advent of the internet, the means of production have been democratized. What that means is that people now have the ability to produce and create in the same marketplace that was once controlled by professionals. But crowdsourcing leverages the power of collaboration, not just an individual amateur who can now act like a professional. By utilizing the same methodology that led the open source software movement, that is, the sharing of information, including breakthroughs, and dividing large tasks into small units that can be spread out amongst different members of the crowd, crowdsourcing produces innovative solutions, new products, and original content. The real power behind crowdsourcing lies in the emergence of online communities that form around passions. Crowdsourcing efforts like Wikipedia rely on those passions to ensure the communities are self-monitoring. Wikipedia doesn't employ editors to read every submission because passionate members of the community will supervise other members' work more quickly and efficiently than employees ever could. Howe presents 4 different models for crowdsourcing. Collective intelligence, or crowd wisdom, is the process of utilizing the knowledge of the crowd to solve problems or form accurate predictions. This model is a sophisticated incarnation of a brainstorming session or a suggestion box. The firm Incentive specializes in this model by holding open contests to form real solutions encountered by Fortune 500 companies, who in turn use those solutions when developing their products. Crowd creation, also called social production, is the production of unique content, sometimes at the request of formal organizations that outline the production process, but don't try to manage every detail. Mountain Dew used crowd creation in the development of their Whiteout flavor, and the highest-rated commercial of this year's Super Bowl was the consumer-created Pug Attack ad from Doritos. Of course, this video utilizes a crowd creation platform, YouTube. Crowd voting is the utilization of the crowd's actions or judgments as a method of organizing information. Amazon.com uses crowd voting to make suggestions to customers based on popular purchases or to recommend bundling products together based on previous customer buying habits. Google uses a complicated algorithm based on popular page views to organize their page rank or search results. Lastly, crowdfunding occurs when the crowd directly contributes funds to either a person or a cause. Political campaigns have been crowdfunded for decades. However, a modern-era charity example is Kiva.org, a microloan website that provides donors the opportunity to lend directly to entrepreneurs in third-world countries. Once the entrepreneur repays the loan, the lender is encouraged to loan that same money again. In this way, each Kiva user functions as a bank with decision-making power, rather than a simple charity donor who has no control over how their donation is spent. Undergirding the different structures of crowdsourcing methods lies a basic question: why do people take part in these crowdsourcing activities? Howe answers that people derive pleasure from collaboration, cultivating their talents and passing on what they do with those talents. The clothing site Threadless.com utilizes all 4 methods of crowdsourcing to produce their t-shirts. Individual users contribute designs, and the crowd of users vote on the best designs. The top vote-getting shirts are then produced, with production quantities being judged by user interest, and the winning designer is rewarded with a small monetary amount, but with the larger satisfaction that people will be wearing a t-shirt they designed. Howe's book is full of other crowdsourcing examples such as Wikipedia, iStockPhoto.com, NASA, Linux Software, and several others. Howe claims to write from a perspective of a journalist observing a trend, but he is clearly a proponent of crowdsourcing. Despite his bias, Howe peppers his book with solemn warnings to those who would seek to take advantage of crowdsourcing techniques. Quote, "The crowd is savvy. If they smell snake oil, they'll abscram and never come back, blogging about their negative experience as they leave." Close quote. Howe also addresses the misconception that crowds will intuitively and efficiently self-organize, when in reality the most successful crowdsourcing efforts have come because of guided collaboration between the crowd and an individual that can lead and manage the crowd's efforts. What Howe does best is describe the character and behavior of the crowd using 2 salient points throughout the book. First, Companies that attempt to use crowds merely as cheap labor will experience diminishing returns, and eventually the crowd will abandon their effort. The reason is simple. The crowd takes part in these efforts because they get some benefit from the exchange. Companies that use crowdsourcing for profit should consider revenue sharing in addition to providing a vibrant community in which members of the crowd can grow in their skills and gain notoriety. Second, crowds work best when they are highly diverse. Obviously, the crowd must have some skills in the area of the task they are working on, but innovation and creativity are most often achieved when the crowd has a diverse background of opinions, educations, skills, and passions to rely on. Howe is a professional journalist, and the book is written in a very descriptive style. It is an excellent primer on the concept of crowdsourcing and introduces a wide variety of terms that are necessary to navigating current discussions about online collaboration. Terms like polylog instead of dialogue, and folksonomy, which is the crowdsourced taxonomy of tags that help organize online content, both lead into contemporary discussions of content curation. However, readers may find that everything they needed to know about crowdsourcing concept is found in the last chapter, where Howe describes 10 rules of crowdsourcing. This illuminates a significant problem with the book. It is unnecessarily long. Howe favors the power of personal testimonies, illustrations, and case studies, but the same stories are often repeated in different chapters or are included at the expense of critical analysis. Readers of magazines such as Wired, for which Howe serves as a contributing editor, will not find anything new in this book. However, strategists, executives, and especially professionals in nonprofit sectors will find this book extremely helpful in understanding why organizations should build relationships with its customer base and how crowdsourcing will be even more important to the future of commerce.